have rough, bumpy, textured, or dull skin? Today in Skin Chat Live, we are going to troubleshoot this common problem, and I'm going to give you some affordable and effective solutions. I'm Stacy, a master in medical esthetician with a passion for facial rejuvenation. I truly believe that everyone, regardless of income, should have access to incredible skincare treatments. If gorgeous skin and saving money is your thing, you're in the right place. You guys, I'm a little out of practice. I've taken a little hiatus from doing lives, but I am so excited to be back at it. I have a lot of exciting things in the works and several different YouTube channels. So I'll fill you in maybe later in the live show, but I want to get right into what we're talking about here, and that's how to have smooth skin that's radiant and not textured. So let's talk about that. If you're here with me in the comments, I will pop over there a little bit later and say hello and answer any questions that you might have. Please take just a second to like and subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell to be notified of future live chats. If you can't make them, they will be available to watch later, so no worries at all. So let's dive right in. You guys, there is a secret to having smooth, not textured, radiant skin, and that's consistency. I know that sounds really oversimplified, but let me explain. We're going to do a little skincare audit and start with the most important skincare fundamentals. And this is something that I think doing skincare audits is something we should do every once in a while, just to kind of make sure we're getting all the most important things into our skincare routine. Then we'll move on to some treatments you may not have considered or tried. Cleansing. You guys have my notes in front of me so I don't miss anything because I am famous for skipping past things. So cleansing, no matter what, even if you don't wear makeup, it is so important to clean your skin before bed. I know this is hard because I have a tendency to fall asleep on the couch, or if I'm reading a book, I'll fall asleep. So I am one of these people that goes to bed early and then wakes up super early in the morning. I was up at 3 a.m. this morning working. It is important though to wash your skin, and what I do is I do my skincare routine after dinner and before I relax for the night. This way I know I'm doing a good job. It's not just going into the bathroom and sloppily washing my face. I do a full skincare routine and I know that I'm getting my skin good and clean. So this is something that I know some people will fall asleep, or they get busy, or they go out. And you know, if once in a blue moon it happens, it's not the end of the world. But if it happens consistently, your pores are getting clogged and that stretches the pore. So if you don't want to have the look of enlarged pores, we got to make sure to really get them cleaned out so they're not stretched. Your pores are kind of like a rubber band, and if they continually are clogged and stretched, they never go back to the size they were. So cleansing every night is so important. So I do want to talk about some of the cleansers that I love, and most of what I'm going to show you here, I would say 90%, is super affordable. I don't think there's any reason to spend a lot of money to get a good skincare, to get an excellent skincare product. So let me show you some cleansers that I use regularly, and they're all budget friendly. So the CeraVe Hydrating Facial Cleanser, this is the size I travel with, and this one is a very creamy, milky, non-lathering, non-stripping cleanser. It is wonderful if you have normal to dry skin, and it just doesn't strip the moisture barrier of the skin. So it's wonderful for everyday use, morning and evening, for normal to dry skin. Really cost effective, and I love CeraVe products. So many of them have ingredients like high-end products, but they're just so affordable. So for a really good cleanse, the CeraVe Renewing Essay Cleanser, I have one of these up in my bathroom, and then I keep another one at my sink in the small powder room, because if I wake up super early, sometimes I'll want to wash my face and everybody's sleeping. So I always have a couple of these around the house. And salicylic acid is a beta hydroxy acid. It is oil penetrating. And so this type of a cleanser is going to really get in deep and clean out the pores, more so than a gentle cleanser. So for me, I normally use a gentle cleanser because my skin is dry, but a couple times a week I do use this just to make sure that my pores are really deeply cleaned. So those two are great options. And the salicylic acid cleansers are great for oily skin, acne-prone skin, or just skin that needs a deep clean. Another cleanser that I really love is the Hada Labo Foaming Cleanser. So this one is just beautiful. It's available on Amazon. Everything I'm talking about here today, you guys can find the links at gorgeouslyaging.com/live. There'll be a picture of the episode You click the picture and you'll get a blog post with a bunch of really good information and the links to all these products and more. So that blog post has already been written. So it's there waiting for you when you're done with this live. It's got a little bit of extra information, so you can always check that out. So those are 3 affordable skincare or cleanser options that really will cover pretty much any situation. Now, I get asked often, if you clean your skin really well at night and you have dry skin or skin that's sensitive to overwashing, do you have to wash again in the morning? It's really a personal preference, but there's no real reason why you have to. Just rinsing your skin with water, or even just applying a light moisturizer or your other skincare ingredients and then a light moisturizer. I always wash my skin in the morning with a gentle cleanser. In the morning, you don't need a heavy duty cleanser because your skin was clean before you went to bed. So I usually use a milky cleanser or this foaming cleanser in the morning because it's gentle and non-stripping. Now moving on to vitamin C serum. I'm surprised, although most people know that we should be using a vitamin C serum, how many people don't do it. There are so many incredible benefits to using vitamin C, and it's one of the most important things we can do in our skincare routine aside from a retinol. So if there's one thing to take away, and I taught my daughters this, is you should be a skincare ace. Vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E. This one is your vitamin C and your vitamin E. And vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant on the skin, but it also boosts our sun protection. Now, we all know that the sun contributes like more than 90% of skin aging and damage. So any extra protection we can get from UV damage is important. Vitamin C will also brighten the skin. And although it's not marketed as an exfoliant, it's not an acid, it does have exfoliating benefits or cellular turnover benefits. So it's super important. I use the Timeless, and this looks really gross. I have a new one upstairs. This was in my empties container that I need to do a video on, but this one is a 20%. And if you've never used vitamin C, or you're sensitive, or you're using a lot of other actives, use the 10% or start with the 10% and then introduce it gradually into your skincare routine. But again, consistency and auditing your skincare regimen to make sure you have the heavy hitters, the most important things, and that would be vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E, and sunscreen. So we'll talk a little bit more about the other things in just a minute. So with this product, we have our vitamin C and we have our vitamin E. So vitamin A is your retinoids. But before we jump into retinol, let's quick talk about some exfoliants, because these are important. And again, anything I talk about, introduce, if you're not using any exfoliants in your chemical exfoliants in your routine, introduce them slowly. So we have alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids. AHAs are like your glycolic acid, your lactic acid, and they are a little more gentle and they work a little bit more on the surface of the skin. Your BHAs are more deeply penetrating. That would be your salicylic acid, more oil soluble, and they get a little bit deeper into the skin. So more deep cleaning. You don't need to use beta hydroxy acids all the time, but salicylic acid is the most prominent BHA, and that's one for a good pore clean out and deep clean. And somebody who is very oily maybe can use that every day. I certainly don't and wouldn't suggest it to most people. All right, so let's talk about acids. This is chemical exfoliant. These are great products for, I would say for me, it's everyday use, but you really have to build up to using them every day. So I'll talk about some options that are very affordable. And this is the Alpha line. And these are from Amazon. And I'm going to start with the one I use in the morning all the time. And that is the Alpha 14% glycolic acid. This is just a few drops, goes on, and you rub it into your skin after your vitamin C. You don't have to rinse it off. You just let it absorb. And then you go on with the rest of your skincare routine. There is also a cream, and this is 12%. So this will add a little bit more moisture to the skin. So if my skin is, first of all, if my skin is irritated or extra dry or sensitive, I don't use a chemical exfoliant. I'll just skip that step for the day or even 2 days. But if I want a little more hydration and I'm going to use an acid, on my skin for exfoliation. This one is great if you want a little bit of extra moisture. And then this one is the body option. And this is 12% glycolic. So it's great for like your arms and chest and areas where the sun has damaged. You've gotten a little bit of hyperpigmentation and you want to lighten that up and boost exfoliation so the skin is smoother and not so rough. Another drugstore option that is so underrated but so great is the CeraVe Skin Renewing Nightly Exfoliating Treatment. This is an alpha hydroxy acid, so it is a little bit more on the gentle side. It doesn't contain salicylic acid. So you could use that nightly, or just because it says it's a nightly treatment doesn't mean you can't use it during the day instead of the glycolic acid. So certainly just because it says it's a nightly treatment doesn't mean you can't use it during the day. All right, something that I love, but this is a bit more expensive, and I keep it on hand because my daughter Abby loves it too, is this is a combination treatment. This is the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Universal Peeling Pad. This one is a 2-step. So you have a wipe that you apply at night, leave it on for, you could do it in the day if you wanted, but it will make your skin more sun sensitive. But you wipe it on your skin, let it sit for 3 minutes, and there's a neutralizing pad. These are incredible because you get the benefits of both alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids. And I do it a couple times a week because if I did it too often, the beta hydroxy acid or the salicylic acid would become annoying to my skin. My skin would start to get a little angry with that. So I only use that a couple times a week. But another combo that is less expensive, because this one's like almost $90, I think. It's a little cheaper on Amazon. I put the link to the cheapest option for these in my blog post. This Doctor's Visit Instant Resurfacing Mask. This is by Versed. So it's a drugstore option. Much more affordable, and it is both the alpha hydroxy and beta hydroxy. And I don't know, let me see, this one, yes, we do rinse it off after 2 to 3 minutes. So same concept, it doesn't have a neutralizing pad, but you put it on for 2 to 3 minutes and then rinse it off. I couldn't remember because I do have one that you put on and you leave it on, you don't have to rinse it out. It's called like an overnight peel. I think it's by ZO Medical. I haven't used that in years, but that's one of the few that I found that you just put on and it like self-neutralizes, you don't have to rinse it off. So those are all great options. Another option for both alpha hydroxy acid and beta hydroxy acid combination is the Ordinary Peeling Solution. And this is one that I can maybe use once a week. If I use it too often, it's going to make my skin red and irritated. So depending on your skin sensitivity, your skin type, these are all great options. This one's wonderful if you ever get to splurge and just try it. My daughter Abby swears by it, but it is a bit pricey. And so for both, probably the best option is going to be this one from Versed. Great because you get both of those, and then you can just add it into your skincare routine maybe once a week and see how that goes, and then twice a week and just move on from there. All right, so we got our chemical exfoliants. Now I'll tell you, when I first started using chemical exfoliants, this is many years ago, it took me a little while for my skin to be okay with it. So the most important thing that you can do is go slow. We all want results fast, just like with weight loss, like I want to lose that 30 pounds and I want to do it by next week. Skincare is the same thing. You really have to be patient, consistent, listen to your skin, don't force it. You're going to actually go backwards if you try too hard to get that texture improved by overloading your skin with acids and active ingredients. It's going to make your skin resistant to some of these ingredients, not necessarily resistant, but sensitized to some of these ingredients, and then they're not going to work well for you. So take it slow, listen to your skin, and when your skin starts to be dry or a little red or a little sensitive, really nourish it with some good hydration, skin moisturizers and skin oils for a couple days, and then ease back into your active ingredients like your acids and your vitamin C. So it's okay to take a break for a day or two. And I find that some people think, well, I have to do this routine, the same routine every night. It's really important to listen to the skin and adjust each night so that we're not making things more problematic. And we certainly don't want red, inflamed, flaky skin. So retinoids, you guys, the heavy hitters of skincare. There is the most studied information on retinol, tretinoin, retinoids in general. And we know from years of research and studies that it is the most powerful anti-aging treatment. So we started our drugstore retinol, and then we move up to retinaldehyde, which is also available at the drugstore. And then there's your prescription tretinoin. So retinaldehyde is in the middle. It's already been through one conversion. So it starts at your prescription retinol or your over-the-counter retinol. And then the first conversion is retinaldehyde and then tretinoin. So tretinoin, this is my Curology from Curology.com, which is a prescription. This is already in a form of retinoic acid that is ready for your skin to use. And this one has one conversion. The nice thing about retinaldehyde, this is the 0.5% from Naturium, is that it only has to go through that one conversion. And it's, for a lot of people, less what am I trying to say here? Irritating. For a lot of people, it's less irritating. So one of the things to do, whether you're using retinol, retinaldehyde, or tretinoin, is sandwich it between a moisturizer. So sometimes, even now with my tretinoin that I've been on for years and years, I'll put a light moisturizer on and then let that dry down almost all the way. And then a pea-sized amount of my tretinoin or retinol or retinaldehyde, and then let that absorb and then go over it with a richer moisturizer or night cream. By sandwiching this, you're kind of creating a more even canvas and a more nourished canvas so that it's not as irritating. And I never have had problems when I've done that sandwiching technique. But the important thing is, again, listen to your skin, back off if you start having sensitivity, don't force it, and then resume with your more powerful active ingredients when your skin is letting you know that it's okay. So retinol, retinaldehyde, or prescription tretinoin is a must, and these will help with wrinkles, but it helps with that cellular turnover. Hence, it helps with the luminosity of your skin and the texture of your skin. It gives you that nice glassy skin over time. And I definitely have seen the most improvement in the texture and luminosity of my skin with my prescription tretinoin. So if you're able to do that, definitely I would recommend it. And that's a long-term game. You're not going to see results immediately. You have to be patient and you have to go slow with it, but over time it is fantastic. And you can get some really wonderful results with over-the-counter retinols and retinaldehyde. So if you want to start there, it's a good place to start so you can see how your skin reacts before you jump into the heavy hitter, which is tretinoin. All right, so after retinol, which is so important, we want to use moisturizer and stay hydrated. So moisturizing the skin, even if you have oily skin, maybe a light moisturizer is important, especially if you live in a hot or dry climate or you have dry winters. Having moisturizer on the skin is important for the skin texture, keeping it plump and hydrated. So a couple that I love is the CeraVe SA lotion for rough and bumpy skin, which is wonderful, especially if you have normal to oily skin. I use it periodically because it has salicylic acid. It does help to exfoliate, so you get a moisturizer that also exfoliates, but definitely don't throw this in to a routine where you're adding a bunch of other active ingredients. Use a more gentle lotion in that situation. If you're throwing too many things into your skincare routine that are new and that are active and powerful, it just can create problems. So go slow, be gentle. I really love this Squalene Squalene and Omega Repair Cream by Biossance. I always have this on hand. I go through them pretty regularly. It's kind of the one this is my empty one. I've got one upstairs. It's really good. I love the whole Biossance line. but that one is a bit more expensive. So CeraVe has a few options, not just the SA lotion for rough and bumpy skin. They have a few options that are just gentle moisturizers, and they're so cost effective. But what I like is the Avene. This is the Xeracalm AD. This is a richer moisturizer. It's lipid replenishing, and I like this at night for a night cream, as well as the Avene Cyclophyte Plus. So both of those are rich. They're like a nice last step at night before going to bed. And I like something a little bit heavier on my skin as a night cream to kind of keep the moisture into my skin before I sleep. I do live in a dry climate, so if you are in a climate that's got a lot of moisture in the air or humidity, you may not need a heavy night cream. I definitely do. My skin is always like so nice when I wake up in the morning if I put a heavy layer of night cream on before I go to sleep. So that would be like after my prescription tretinoin. Last but not least is sunscreen every single day, no matter what, 365 days a year. Sunscreen, whether it's cloudy or raining, sunscreen, you get sun exposure through the windows in your house. It needs to be part of the skincare routine, and don't depend on your makeup that has SPF. Always use a regular sunscreen. So this is the Versed Guards Up mineral sunscreen. I prefer mineral sunscreens. Chemical sunscreens tend to burn my eyes. And this one has a little tiny bit of tint. It doesn't really give you any coverage, but it's beautiful. It's silky. It goes on nice. The skin feels hydrated, but not greasy. And this is one I've been using most of the summer. There are a couple others that I love. The Elta MD UV Daily, tinted or clear. Those are great. I listed those in the blog post. I also really love the CeraVe tinted mineral sunscreen. And that one does actually give you a little bit of very light coverage on the skin. So if you like a sunscreen that gives you really good SPF, it's mineral and it gives you a tiny bit of tint where it kind of feels like you've got maybe some tinted moisturizer on, that one is a really good option. And the CeraVe is very cost effective. So I think you would really enjoy that. Okay, let's get into treatments. So before I jump into treatments, I do want to say, because this is something important and I just did it last night, dermaplaning. Dermaplaning is such a great way to exfoliate the skin, and over time the skin does get smoother. You get a little bit of an exfoliating action with it, not a ton, but whether you just use a really nice face shaver or you actually use like a scalpel, which is what I use to do a dermaplaning technique, both will give you some exfoliating benefits, but the dermaplaning with a scalpel is a little bit more exfoliating than dermaplaning with a razor. So just a side note. Okay, treatments. So microneedling is probably one of the best treatments for texture on the skin and improving radiance. So I use a Dr. Penn M8, but any microneedling device will do. Monthly microneedling sessions, whether it's shallow or a little deeper, are going to be great ways to exfoliate the skin. Now, an affordable option, I've talked about this before, is the Ultra Lifting EGF Ampoule. This is needling safe. Not every serum is needling safe. So your regular skincare serums, you don't want to needle into your skin. This one is a great affordable option for microneedling. The other things that I love, which are a bit more expensive, I don't think I listed these in the blog post, but I'll go back and do that. Hyal Do Shine, wonderful for microneedling. And this one's a bit expensive, but if you ever get to try it, the Regeron PN polynucleotide or polydeoxynucleotide has a lot of skin healing, skin brightening, anti-wrinkle, hydration benefits. It is kind of a holy grail type product because it's like $250, maybe a little bit more. And it comes with 2 vials of 2 mils of product. It's an incredible skin booster, something to try, like, you know, for a birthday or for a special occasion or something like that. But certainly the microneedling itself with a quality and affordable skin booster like this, EGF, epidermal growth factors, will give you not only nourishment to the skin, but the microneedling itself will help exfoliate and also stimulate collagen. So you get that benefit as well. I suggest monthly. Some people do it every couple of weeks for a series of maybe 6 or 8 treatments and then go monthly. So whatever you can fit into your schedule. Usually there's a couple days of redness after microneedling, so always take that into consideration. Okay, devices. Last two things here, you guys, and then I'll jump over to the chats. I've talked about this in a recent video on Gorgeously Aging, and this is the Jove's photofacial device. So this is like a photofacial at home. And so where you think of a photofacial more for pigmentation, hyperpigmentation, it stimulates collagen, can help with fine lines and wrinkles and little spider veins. It also helps with skin texture, especially if you can do it frequently. So the cost of a photofacial in the spa is quite a bit. Not everybody can do that regularly at that price point, but the Jove's is a one-time investment. I think this is around $350. And this is DPL, direct pulse light, and it's great. I love it. But we also have the option of the Nira Pro. So similar devices, slightly different in technology, but they do a lot of the same thing. This one is more of that flash of light. This one is more of a burst of heat. So, you're definitely getting that light treatment that penetrates, into the dermis of the skin with this direct pulse light. And this is a variation of like the fractional, non-ablative type of laser. So you're going to get similar results with just different technology. So some people may respond better to a photofacial device that is direct pulse light. And some people may respond better to this, which is more heat. You don't get that light flash. Hopefully that explains. I don't want to get too deep into the technical stuff of those devices, but I like them both. I don't even know if I had to choose just one of them, which one I would say. I guess I would recommend do your homework, look at other reviews. I'm glad that I have them both. I think they do similar but slightly different things. And I think each person is going to respond a little bit differently to treatments. Just like when you talk to a friend who had a photofacial and they were like, it didn't do anything for me. Every time I have a photofacial, I've had several in med spas years ago, it always made a big difference on my pigmentation and just the brightness and evenness of my skin, as well as the glow. So I do like a photofacial, and the fact that I can do it at home more frequently is something that I really enjoy. But the Nira is fantastic too. So it's kind of like trying to pick one of your favorite children. I love them both. Okay, so let's see. I think I went through everything. I've covered everything on my list, you guys. I'm going to jump over to the live chat. And just before I go over there, you guys, if you'd like to learn more about advanced facial rejuvenation, I do have a private group that focuses on those advanced facial rejuvenation techniques. There is a full video library. There is an exclusive chat community to help you troubleshoot and support you along the way. It's a little bit more of a private bubble, and there's a lot of like special perks with that. But you can get more information and check that out at gorgeouslyaging.com/VIP. So I can't wait to pop over to the comments because I haven't done a live in so long. I'm definitely missing all of you. So, oh, Beauty Junkie Lisa is here. You're looking stunningly gorgeous. Oh, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Sarah, hi, Stacy, you look great. And Jean is here. Love your hair. You guys, I've been having fun with wigs lately. So this is a wig. It's a synthetic wig. I should list it in the blog post because it's super cheap. And I was just busy studying and preparing for this live. So I lost track of time. And I'm like, I'm just going to throw on one of my wigs. I've got like 10 of them now. I don't wear them very often, but I really do love them. And if you ever feel like you want to just have something fun to throw on, I do customize my synthetic wigs. I give them a little trim. I thin them out, make them look more realistic. Did you guys know it was a wig? Did you guess it was a wig? Let me know in the comments. Let me see here, you guys. Girlfriend, you look like you walked out of the Fountain of Youth. Lisa, you always say the nicest thing. I'm liking this vibe on you. Thank you so much, Lucy. Says she received my email. Yay, I'm so glad. Yesterday and just subscribed to this channel. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I want to cover topics that you guys want to cover. So don't be afraid to let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat, or even email me, stacy@gorgeouslyaging.com. Give me some ideas for upcoming live chats because we're going to do this 10 o'clock, Monday through Friday. There may be some days that I can't make it, but I'll let you guys know. But that's the plan, is to be here every day, connecting with you, helping you solve your skincare problems. There will always be a corresponding blog post covering all the things that we talked about, giving you the links, but also some extra helpful information. I hope this was useful for you, to you guys. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Malin is here. Hi, Malin. So glad to see you. Thanks for joining in. And Lisa says, drink lots of water, even mineral water. Our bodies consist of mostly water. Absolutely, you guys. I have my Pellegrino water right here. I'm trying to give up sodas of all kinds. So having a sparkling water really helps scratch that itch for a Diet Coke, which I'm getting away from. Let's see here. Tracy is here. Love the bangs. Thanks, guys. I have some, like I said, I have some really fun wigs. A few of them have bangs, some of them don't. But I'm kind of enjoying it, especially when you're kind of lazy and lose track of time. America. Hi, Stacy. I wanted to know about Nira for the eyes. Is okay if you have Botox on crow's feet? Absolutely. So if you just got Botox, I would wait a few days to let that settle in before you do Nira treatments. Probably like 3 to 5 days. Let the tox settle in, but then go back to your Nira and do your treatments around your eyes. It won't affect anything. Let's see. Lucy says, yesterday I did deep microneedling on myself and my husband. Yay, your husband is so brave. I don't think my husband would let me do it. I started with massaging gun, then photofacial 15 minutes, the 25 minutes NUA, and then microneedling. You gave him a spa treatment. That's wonderful. Good for him. Maybe someday I'll get Adam to let me do a microneedling or some kind of treatment. He's just one of those guys who's like, I'm okay with my skin getting old. He's so cute. And Gina says, do you recommend any scrubber face spatula with high frequency to deep cleanse? Honestly, I do have several options for cleansing devices, but the more I study and the more I listen to dermatologists, you don't necessarily need those devices. I do like a vibrating type of cleanser. I should have brought it down here to show you guys. I'll link it. I'll go back and link it in the blog post. It's very gentle. It's like a silicone. It vibrates. And that I like because it's not too abrasive or too aggressive. A washcloth is great because you're just getting some gentle exfoliating with a washcloth. And, I think anything as far as a facial cleansing device, as long as it's gentle, it's not too aggressive. And, years ago, all the rage was the Clarisonics, which I think, looking back at it, were a little bit too rough. You couldn't really clean them effectively. So the risk for bacteria going into the skin was kind of high with those. And I'm glad we've moved away from the Clarisonics. So anything that's like silicone, it has some vibration, which gets the blood circulating. That's what I use and really enjoy. And I can clean it super well. So I know it's not like loaded with bacteria. So I think I covered all the questions, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, again, make sure to give it a thumbs up and check out that blog post, gorgeouslyaging.com/VIP. You guys can also find some of my facial rejuvenation videos at rumble.com. Just search Gorgeously Aging. You'll find me there and on all socials. So if you'd like to follow me on TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, just search Gorgeously Aging. You'll find me on all the other social media platforms. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me. I always appreciate it. I have missed you guys. I have missed this connection. So I'm hoping that these daily lives go well. Thanks again. I'll see you guys next time. Remember what I always say, be good to yourselves and to others. See you next time.